Hey guys, I just wanted to do a real quick overview of the rule set that I've created to add fire, a burning building, or an encounter for your party to run into in Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And so we're just going to whip through this real quick here. So what I did is basically I just brought a token over first, and this is in Fantasy Grounds, by the way, because this is where my campaign is. I brought a token of fire because I wanted something that would be a little bit ominous for the players to run into. And then I created an NPC of fire and added that token in there, right? And then I've got another NPC here that will pretend as a player character. That's Groggy. And he will be coming home to his house to find that it is on fire. And the way that we do that is I've already set up an encounter. We bring the fires in. Notice that I gave them each of the fires numbers because the way that fire works in my rule set is it goes up by levels, and so you have to track that because some fires will be different levels than others. So it's good to have numbers behind the fire name so that you know which fire you're looking at. And let's make the fires visible, and let's make Groggy visible, and then let's put Groggy in his doorway because he just comes home, and obviously he's not an enemy of himself. Um, so the idea is uh, Savage Worlds Adventure Edition has done a great job with telling us what the effects of fire are, but I wanted to have something where it would actually have a fire in a burning building, and my players would have to interact with that. They would have to combat that fire, and I couldn't. The rules didn't totally come together for me for that, so I created my own rule set that basically stays within the bounds of SWADE, and yet adds some fun things for fire. For instance, every round, we're going to count it as a combat round, and every round, fire will grow by a level. So, for instance, if a fire is a level 2 and I make it bigger on the map here, then you can see the difference between a level 1 and a level 2. And a level 2 fire is obviously more dangerous. Fire can get up to a level 6. And a level 6 would just be devastating for the party because at that level, every turn, the fire is spreading itself. So, in other words, spawning another level 1 fire immediately around itself. And we just figure out where it's going to go by using a random, we roll a d8, right? And then depending on where that is. So I rolled an 8 and it goes clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically, another fire would have spawned right here. And we'll just drag this guy over here to show you guys. Then now the players are dealing with 2 fires in that same area. Now, the problem that you run into with 2 fires, that may not sound terrible to you, but the truth of the matter is we've got this table over here called random fire effects. Anytime a player is next to a fire and they don't interact with it, in other words, they're not throwing a bucket of water or trying to put it out with a blanket or something like that, then they have to roll on this random fire effects table. And this table can be pretty nasty. Sometimes, I mean, it doesn't do very much. It's just a shift or something like that. Or sometimes it's even an advantage. It's sputtering fire. It reduces the level of the fire. But sometimes, like this one that we just rolled at number 3, on the move, grow a random fire 1 level and move it a whole square in any random direction. So the fire moves and also grows at the same time. And there's some even nastier than that. There's falling debris, which can hurt you. There's you're on fire, which I mean, who wouldn't want that to happen to them? And then smoke inhalation and bad smoke inhalation, which are added to the rules that are already in effect with SWADE. And speaking of smoke inhalation, so the way that that works is anytime that you're inside of an enclosed building, and in my rules, if the fire level is a level 3 or higher, then you have to make a vigor check every turn to avoid the damages from smoke inhalation. If you fail that check, you gain a fatigue. And as we all know, when you get 3 fatigues stacked on top of each other, you're incapacitated. And essentially, and according to the SWADE rules, if you're incapacitated by smoke inhalation, you're dying. And you die at within the amount of minutes that your vigor level is. So unless somebody in your party intervenes by getting you out of the building and performing resuscitation, which is healing on you, you're going to die from smoke inhalation damage. So that's the way that that works. The other thing that we've got going on is, and this is a big pot of water over here. Groggy would, on his turn, and there is no action for doing this, it's a free action. He can run over to his water, scoop up a bucket, and then chuck it on a fire that's adjacent to him. And when you do that, you roll a d6, and that tells you how many levels you've reduced the fire. That was a terrible roll, a 1. And so you can imagine, running into those kinds of things, the fires will still be going, but it will reduce them by a certain amount. I've also included rules in the rule set that will help you when you're trying to use magic. For instance, elemental manipulation. We don't have to go into that right now, but the idea is you only create a quart of water when you do that. So really you need to do raises on that casting in order to fight the fire. And again, when Groggy's over here next to 2 fires, if he only has 1 bucket, you do in the rules have an option to have a second bucket. You'll see that. But if you only had 1 bucket, he would throw it at the 1 fire, but then the other fire would go into the random fire effects table again and roll. And then you would find out that he's run into an angry fire. This particular fire token cannot be extinguished the next turn. So in other words, if he was to run back and grab a bucket of water again and run back over here to get the other fire, he wouldn't be able to because it's an angry fire. That's basically the rules that I've come up with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a 10-minute clip out of one of our campaigns where our adventurers, the player characters, ran into this scenario with fire. They're running into a burning mansion that's a local wizard's mansion, and they're trying to save the wizard and also some of his spell books and things along those lines. So you get to see a little bit of gameplay. It drags on, so I clipped it to 10 minutes just to give you guys a little bit of a taste of what it's like. But the reason why I like and wanted to add firefighting into my game is because it's always the typical hack and slash stuff and things like that, and role playing tends to kind of fall to a little bit of a segue or to the side. And I wanted something that would still be fun and exciting, and I thought that fire would add that. And I think everybody in our group really enjoyed themselves fighting the fire in the mansion. So without further ado, I'll pass you on over to that video. And please comment below and let me know what you think about the rules. Also, there's a link below for the PDF copy of the rules. You guys are welcome to use them any way that you want. And let me know if you would make any changes or what you like or don't like about it. And I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye. It completely explodes. And
Rocky, feel a little better.
and everything that was on it basically just flies out. And that area is basically opened up for you.
Fair enough. Whatever that was.
Okay. Eliana. So looks like, are you heading to get a bucket?
I'm going to grab a bucket and I'm going to run down the hall.
All right. And by the way, because it's a free action grabbing a bucket, you can move after, you can continue your move. So your total movement was 11. You already did 5, so you've got 6 left in this round. Basically, Eliana just swooped over to the door at a sprint, grabbed a bucket, and continued sprinting and heading down behind Rocky. So what is Gareth doing?
Same deal, following down the hall after grabbing a bucket.
Okay. And you rolled
no one can
an
do
11
it well.
also?
Garrett, so we've got to prove it.
Did you roll an 11 also?
No, I need to roll my movement. Hold on.
Oh. Well, who did?
Who wants to roll the 5?
It says Gareth running.
I just hit the run button.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that
okay.
counts.
Okay.
All right, so you get to move 9 more. You have a bucket in your hand, and you get to move 9 more.
That doesn't work. Hold on. Let me go.
I mean, it's close enough for government.
Oh, crap.
That's the truth, Vaughn.
I closed the map.
My dad taught me that one. You close the map. I hate it when that happens.
Damn it.
Do you need me to reshare it, or are you just going to open your images folder and pop it?
Where the hell's the images folder?
Well, on the right, there's
Third
It
a
says
card. It
images.
says images. It's a King of Hearts.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got it.
That's awesome,
What are we playing again?
What's it called?
right? This is called research. It is now the fire's turn. So let me tell you guys a little bit about the fire rules that I have come up with. Every turn that the fire goes, it is going to go up by a level. Right now, the fire is at a level of 1. Okay? Which means that it's a little bit bigger than a torch flame. But every turn, it is going to go up a level. So all of the fires are going to grow now.
Have we seen the fires yet anywhere?
Some of them you should start to see because one's on that corner, right at the hallway entrance, and 2 are in the doorway that Rocky's heading toward.
There's not like a fire graphic on the map that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any of them either.
I can see the one at the end of the hallway that hasn't been opened up yet. And the one straight back.
Yeah, it should. It's maybe because it's not revealed. Here, how about if I do this? Does everybody see fire?
Oh yes, I see fire.
Yeah. Okay. How's that? All right, and here's a couple
Well,
here that
so-
you can see as well.
Hang on a second now. If Eliane moved right to that position and I'm holding a bucket, can I throw the bucket on this as part of my turn?
Yeah, except for that's a wall. So since it's only grown to a 2 at this stage, I would say it's not come through the wall. You definitely feel.
Oh, it's on the
heat
back
there.
side of the wall. Okay.
Exactly. That other room is where the fire and smoke are coming from.
Okay.
Okay. So and the other thing that we have to worry about is once fire gets up to a certain level, level 3, it basically becomes a danger to you for smoke inhalation, and everybody will be making vigor checks every turn. But the good news is when you throw a bucket on the fire, you get to roll a d6, and it lowers the fire by that many levels. Okay?
Okay.
And then if it goes down to 0 or below, then the fire is out at that point. Okay. So in the beginning of the turn for a fire, it goes up.
Hey,
level.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Vaughn, just quick question. So if you have a level 4 fire, which is pretty bad, it sounds like, right?
Yes.
And you throw a bucket of water on it, and you roll a 3, that fire almost goes out.
Exactly. It becomes a level 1 again.
Got it.
Now, the other thing that happens is I roll a d6 right now, and if any fire, ooh, you guys just missed it. If any fire is the level of the d6 that I roll, then it spreads.
Aren't they all the same level?
Right now they are, but there's going to be all kinds of different levels very shortly.
Sweet.
So
And then if any
On this big
fire
check.
is at a level 6, it automatically spreads.
Is level 6 the max you can get to?
Yes.
Dude, this is like pandemic.
Yes. Yes.
All right, cool. So so that's the fire's turn. There are no level 6s, so you don't get any spreading, and the d6 that I rolled didn't give anybody anything. So just so you know, that's what happens with the fire on its turn. And now it is Ajax's turn. Ajax is running to get a bucket, right?
Yeah.
Does Ajax want to roll for running as opposed to just doing regular pace? Paul?
Sure.
Cool.
all right, hang on a second. Ajax runs.
Nice. All right, Ajax runs a 10, so you'll do 5 to get to the door, so you've got an additional 5 with a bucket. And by the way, I should have mentioned this before. may not have come into play for Eliana, but it definitely would have come into play for Gareth. So for future reference, you can take a chance and grab 2 buckets.
I'll
That's
grab
cool.
2.
Okay.
Do
And
that.
when you grab 2, your player has to be a D6 or higher of strength, right? And then they
No
have to
problem.
make a strength check. So, you want to make a strength check for Ajax because he's got plenty of strength there to be able to do the 2.
Could I retroactively do that for Gareth?
Hey, is James on? Can he
Yeah.
take over Gareth?
Just in case you allow it, I retroactively rolled a strength check for Gareth.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because I forgot to mention that to you. So let's let James. How come James isn't in the Skype though?
Sounds like he's having Skype issues.
Okay.
Vaughn's bandwidth isn't big enough. James having trouble getting Skype up. What is with you people?
We don't even want to get started on Dave's problems.
We don't have that kind of time.
Okay. By the way, I didn't notice. Did he make his strength check?
You got a 5.
Ooh, dang. Did Ajax? Oh, he didn't make one. That's his running. Do you want to make a strength check for Ajax?
Give me a minute. I'll be there in a minute.
And by the way, if you critically fail on the strength check, the only thing that happens is you drop one of the buckets.
Break your toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You break your toe. Oh, that would be brutal,
My
wouldn't
toe.
it? The fun's about to start. That's when the fire effects come into play.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is about to go crazy. There's too many too far away.
All right, cool.
Rocky having fun. Hit stuff, break it.
Are you warm yet?
Rocky never cold.
Who, Rocky?
Yeah, sitting by 2 5s.
He's going to find out what happens to dirt when it gets overheated. Hope you're not made out of sandstone.
No, it would be granite. Thank you.
All right. We do Ajax strength check, was it?
All right. James grabbed Gareth. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
damn, running. Minus
Why
2.
is he? Oh, I forgot about running.
Is that 2
Right.
actions?
Yeah, Gareth, you were -2 for your strength check.
All right. That's cool.
So basically, you're able, because you failed, you didn't critically fail. You're able to do it, but your pace drops by 1 while you're holding the 2 buckets. You're just basically, you tweaked your wrist or something grabbing that joker, and you like slowed your pace down a hair.
All right. That's cool.
All right. So let's see. Ajax has made his move.